Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Young Time World. Today, we are going to be reviewing an old classic. Now, it's been around for a long time, and when I say a long time, I really mean a long time. Some of you are probably teenagers by now, and you've got a lot going on in your life, or not, doesn't really matter. Because today we're going to be talking about, drumroll please, the Lorax. Now, the Lorax has been around for quite a while, as I said before. It came out in 2012, so guess how old you are? Very. And I don't know, because it seems so fresh in my memory. It makes me feel so old thinking about it. I think the Lorax did come out um, during the time that I was probably in high school. Yeah, I was in fucking high school, and this came out. But I didn't watch it the moment it got out. I basically had to wait for probably a month or two before I could actually watch it. By then, my dad purchased it on a CD, so then we got to watch it from there. But yeah, it was basically a good time. It was basically a good time. Now, The Lorax is a 2012 animated movie produced by Illumination Entertainment, and it's based off one of Dr. Seuss's children's books of the same name. Now, the film follows the story of a young boy named Ted who lives in a city where everything is artificial and made of plastic. Ted falls in love with a girl named Audrey who dreams of seeing a real tree, and so he embarks on a quest to find a living tree for her. Now he discovers the legend of Lorax, a creature who speaks for the trees, and learns about the Once-ler, a businessman who destroyed all the trees in the area in his quest for profit. Now, it's a pretty cool story. It's not that dramatic, but it also decides to cite very important issues in society. Let's just go on. You understand what I mean. The movie does an excellent job of adapting Dr. Seuss's story for the big screen. Now, the animation is colorful and imaginative, and the characters are all distinct and memorable. The voice acting is also superb, with well-known actors such as Zac Efron, Taylor Swift, and Danny DeVito who lend in their talents to the film. Now, for the animated film itself, it one of its main themes that it tried to talk about was environmental conservation. Now, the Once-ler's greed and disregard for the environment led to the destruction of trees and the displacement of the animals that lived there in the area. The Lorax represents the voice of reason, trying to convince the Once-ler to change his ways before it's too late. The movie makes it clear that it is the responsibility of individuals and corporations to take care of the planet and ensure that the future generations actually have a healthy environment to live in. There's also another theme that goes around it, and it's the power of hope and the ability of individuals to make a difference. Ted is just a young boy, but his determination to find a tree for Audrey inspires the entire town to take action and start planting trees. This message is particularly important for young viewers who may feel like they're too small to make a difference in the world. Now, overall, The Lorax is an excellent animated movie, and it's both entertaining and thought provoking. Now, with its themes of environmental conservation and the power of hope are timely and important. The film also does an excellent job of delivering messages in a way that is accessible to audiences of all ages. Because I feel like, when we're talking about really serious issues like climate change and, you know, mass scale degradation of areas and environments, we tend to leave our kids. It's like we're like, go run along and play with your friends. We're talking about very serious issues here. You wouldn't understand. It's, that's basically how we treat the kids, because society always wants the kids to be kids, let them run around. But it wouldn't hurt if they know how important their environment is. Now, when I watched The Lorax, I mean, sure, the music was catchy. I feel like one of the songs potentially could create a supervillain, and it's the Once-ler's "How Bad Can I Be?" when I'm just doing what comes naturally. Like, you might think it's a harmless song, but I'm only telling you, if I feel like I want to steal something and I steal it, is it really bad? Because I felt like I want to steal it. When you feel like you have to pee and you don't pee, isn't it bad for you? If you feel like you have to go take a dump and you don't take a dump, isn't that bad for you? So if I feel like I want to do something and I don't do it, isn't it bad for me? I don't know. It's a really thought-provoking song, and I don't think a lot of minds have not been drawn to that. But that song is really compelling because whatever action that you took or whatever feelings that you played on, it seems justified that you would act on those emotions, right? You feel angry, you want to slam the door, you do that, right? It makes you feel good. You smash something to the ground, you feel good, right? You don't do anything, you bottle up inside, and you end up hurting someone in the future. But we're still trying to talk about how this movie helps to cultivate the sense of responsibility in children as well as everyone of all ages. And you don't need to be a certain age before you think about the environment and what you can do to help it. Just don't litter, don't do the stuff that's gonna cause your entire environment to go into a state of a toxic wasteland. Okay, it pays to do that. I feel like environmental degradation or those stuffs are being left for the big corporations because they're the ones that make the big messes. But individually, it's not really much of a great effort because they always believe that if it's not the guy in the streets who's cleaning that's going to make a difference, it's probably the guy who's, following the dumpster truck or something. Ideally, I think that the Lorax was great. It was, I don't know how to put this. When we started the movie, I was really confused as to where everything was going. And then when they started talking about it, we even talked about O'Hare. And like all the characters that they showed us were ideally those who have everything figured out. They know what they want. They're trying to move around town and trying to make the best of it. But couldn't it also be that they're showing you the future? Like, what do I mean by that? Give me one moment. I don't think chewing is supposed to be part of the podcast, but I have been very hungry. I haven't had a meal to eat like in days, so yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's all good. Anyways, yeah, what was I talking about? I was talking about how it looks futuristic because it could be true. Nowadays, we're in urban jungles where we've got buildings, skyscrapers all surrounding us and fewer trees. Like as time is going on, the idea of a garden is going to be much more of a spectacle that you don't get to see all the time. The fact that you're going to see trees around in the area is going to be potentially difficult. There are parts of the world where they probably don't have trees for square miles. And that is really serious. I think even though it does a great job of trying to tell the story of environmental degradation, it's also something that is still taken lightly. And it's easy to justify your intentions when it comes to the environment because you need the money, you need to take care of your family, you need to take care of yourself. All of those things are reasonable and you can work with them. But even when it's a kids show, it can easily be debunked. And I do hope, because it made this sort of illusion come into clear view, the fact that people have the tendency to disregard environmental degradation because to them nothing's changed, or to them it's not a big issue. Personally, when it comes to environmental degradation, I really don't have an attached sense of responsibility. I don't know how to put this, but When I'm outside and I got some trash in my hand, I try and look for the closest thing to me so that I can dump it in there. If not, it'll end up in my pocket or inside my bag. That's just me. That's not everyone else. Some people are not even comfortable with the sense of filth around them, so they start cleaning wherever and maybe disposing it onto the streets seems more logical because there is going to be someone who is paid to do that and they get their money's worth because the job demands them to clean the place. So, what entitles or why do you have to be responsible? Why do you have to go out of your way to want to protect the environment when there are other people who are in charge of it and they're just not doing a good job? That's true. I mean, you're under no obligation to do the most or go out of your way and ensure that littering is not something that you constantly do. Why? Why should that be a responsibility? Well, it's not. It's not. It's like free will. You can choose to. You can choose to help people out. You can choose to be there for someone when they need help. Um, I do suppose when our family members are in trouble or when our friends are in trouble, our first instinct would be to go out there and go help them out. Like even if you don't know what to do, you would still want to be by their side too and try and figure something out. And I think the environment is the same way. The environment does not have a voice, as in the Lorax. It cannot walk over to you and tell you, dude, people are people are just throwing trash cans like that. Wait, throwing trash cans? No. People are throwing trash everywhere, okay? They're littering, they're destroying my places. Like, they're destroying my entire sense of self. The environment is not the environment that I remember. Please help me. You're not going to get that. They're not going to send you an email, a memo, an email, or whatever it is you think that they will use to communicate with you. And the corporations or the big companies or organizations are going to do their best to make it seem like it's not a big deal. Hence, they'll downplay a lot of things. They'll set up campaigns for planting trees and give you promotions that every time you buy one of our products, we plant a tree in Canada. All of those are PR stunts. Ideally, it is not about getting the tree out there, it's about you being more interested in their products. And maybe I'm just biting my own tail, but it does seem like a very lucrative strategy to make more profit. But I do wish that these kind of programs were given much more attention than what the companies do because the kind of attention that they give it is surface value. I'm from West Africa, okay, and they had this program called Planting for Food and Jobs, okay. Now, in one such instance, they decided to partner up with the Forestry Commission to plant like close to 1,000 trees, probably more than that. And within a day, they wanted to do that within a day. And they had the seedlings available, they had everything. Now, that seemed like a perfect plan, but it was a PR stunt. Why am I saying this? They planted those trees in places that are in public, out in the open, undeniable. Great job. But no one's taking care of them. No one waters them. And they did it also in a moment where it was getting to the dry season. So we're talking about scorching heat. We're talking about a situation where plants or seedlings themselves cannot survive under those conditions. You need someone to manhandle them. You need someone to manage them and take care of them till they're at the point where they don't need any help anymore. And they were just left there out in the sun. And these, over there, there's like animals running around. We got goats, we got sheep, we got herbivores who are looking for fresh leaves and they stumble upon that shit. You think they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, they planted this here for food and jobs. I'm not gonna touch it. No, fuck no. The sheep and goat are gonna do justice to it because guess what? They're hungry and they've been eating grass all day. They love a different spice or something to spice up their day, and that could be it. So, um, environmental conservation. Even though it does feel like I'm going off topic here, I seem to be doing a lot when it comes to these TV series, TV shows, movies. I think I did the same thing with Kingsman, Golden Circle. You can go check it out. Um, as much as I want to make this a review, I also like to talk about the themes behind them. Maybe I should try and restructure the topic of my podcast to make it sensible. Because the idea of environmental conservation has always been something that the big corporations would want to use as a PR stunt to get people to like them, to make a statement that they love the environment and they want it to be protected. But it's not something that is on their budget consistently, you know. It's something that they would assign to the new guy in the office. It's something that they would just take lightly because they know for a fact that if they decide to pay more attention to it, the cost will go up. And that's it. Taking care of trees is no small task. Okay? That is why cutting it down seems much more easier and simpler than leaving it alive and letting it grow. People don't want that. They want easy money. And easy money is not going to be attained if the tree is still standing, which is why it breaks my heart. Anyways, I would like to say that the Lorax is very informative. Greed. Greed is one of the things that people underestimate. Greed can justify itself. When I'm taking more, you can ask me, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking everything for yourself? Rainy day, bitch. You're not gonna answer that way. What was that open up? It would be really cool if you did. But ideally, when a person decides to get more than he bargains for, he can tell you that he's saving it for a rainy day, or he's making preparations for something bigger, or he has something else in mind, something bigger, something smarter in hand. And you would have to bear with them because greed sometimes does not look like greed. Sometimes greed looks like you are tenacious, consistent, and you're going for that, whatever it is that you desire. And maybe that is why the Lorax doesn't seem so bad. Because if you're citing my attention to the one thing that has got politicians going after power over and over again, the reason why people decide that they want more offspring, the reason why people decide that they want to have more girlfriends, more friends, more money, the topic that no rapper can run away from. And in an attempt to actually get you to also see the same way they do, they would make those songs and you would also vibe with them because you also feel like you need money too. The concept is quite fascinating, you know. But I'll tell you this, even though greed is probably imprinted into our DNA and it's something that we all fight with and struggle with, I'll let you know that you have the opportunity to be your own person and not be defined by what biology can do to you. That can be misinterpreted, but you don't need to follow the rules to help those around you. And take care of yourselves. I know this took a really dark turn. I was supposed to be more peppy and lively. Probably sound like, hey guys, what's up and welcome to Young Time World. Yeah, that does sound like me sometimes, but that's only when I'm outside and there are cars in the background and I want to shout as loud as possible. Over here, I'm reasonable, try not to overdo it, just trying to get your attention so that you can listen to what I have to say and make your own conclusions. You can let me know down below. But this is what I thought of the Lorax. The Lorax was really great. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. If you haven't, you can go try it out. There are a lot of streaming services that would love to show it to you and take money from you. Or if you want, I could give you a link to download it from Telegram, which I can do sometimes, unless of course they decide to ban the whole channel and then I'll have to find a new one. Regardless, I'll always find a way for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. You guys have been so great. I'd like to thank everyone. I also have a special announcement to make. I'm basically doing this every day, and it's really helpful when I have the support of my the people who listen to me. I don't have the right to call you guys fans yet. I'm not there yet. But ideally, Spotify started a program where if you have, like how YouTube monetizes your content or stuff like that. Same thing with Spotify. But in order for that to work, I'm going to have to reach 100 followers. So if you're listening to this, if you actually got this far, I need your help. I want to reach that point where this is how I go about my day. And I want to give you guys the content that you want and you deserve. And we could have forums, we can have discussions, we could have guests. I'm not going to be the only person here. I'm going to be talking to some people. And it'll be really great. And I feel like the interaction is going to be very cool as well. But yeah, I do need your help. If you could follow me on Spotify, that would be amazing. I already have 2 amazing people there. I wish I could know your names, and I wish you could join me for a podcast. Anyways, that's going to be all. Thank you guys so much for everything, for your support, your love, and your attention. I don't deserve you guys. You're amazing. And I'll check back in with you guys tomorrow. If I don't drop another episode today, you guys know that I'm going to be around tomorrow. Okay? Right. So this is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for listening once again. This is going to be the end. As always, Young Titan out. Thanks for listening.